The Cheeseboy 628 Show, starring Cheeseboy 628.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy 628 here today giving you a Theory Thursday, and well, let's just get right to what's the subject about today. Well, as I was talking about from my last Theory Thursday, I was talking about one of the more amusing comments will be the ones that get picked, and well, I picked my buddy Devon's comment this week. Theory Thursday on Venomoth. Where will this dancing bug end up? Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how much I laughed at that. It's pretty funny, just imagine Venomoth dance. Anyway, okay, so we're going to get right into it here. I believe that Venomoth is going to be placed in the UU tier. Now, let's get right into its stats, of course, like always. And well, what I'd really like to say is, I've seen a couple comments about Venomoth, and I just never really expected it to be BL, as in it's in the OU tier right now. Like, you cannot use it in a tier below. It was RU for a decent amount of 5th gen. What really happened in this gen that just makes Venomoth apparently so much stronger now? Well, I'm definitely going to address that in this Theory Thursday. Now let's talk about my first point here. You just look at Venomoth's stats and you really see, okay, they're decent at best, really subpar, especially for the OU tier. You have a pretty measly 90 base speed stat and a base 90 special attack stat, and that's really the best of it. The rest of it is bulk that doesn't exist at all, and of course not a usable attack stat. When it comes to taking hits, defensively, stat-wise, it's definitely not going to take too many, although Bug Poison is a decent dual typing. It's not weak to too many things, but in OU to have those defenses and to attempt to take hits, it's not going to bode well. So its stats and its typing are definitely not the reason that it's already in OU right now. So let's get to my next point. It's decent offensively. Okay, so it has a decent move pool when it comes to coverage. It has Bug Buzz and it has Sludge Bomb. Those are decent moves. I mean, they're not the most effective when it comes to offensively, especially in OU. So what else does it get? Okay, so it gets Quiver Dance. From just one move, its special attack, special defense, and speed all goes up one stage. Not a bad move, so being part bug is definitely a good benefit when you get that move with it. So then I took a look into its abilities. Now I don't use Venomoth, I don't think ever, as I'm not a Baton Pass user. A little bit of foreshadowing into what I'm going to talk about a little later in this Theory Thursday. But now I looked at its abilities, and it has something called Wonder Skin, and where if you try to use a status move that has any kind of percentage on it, meaning that there's any chance of it going to miss after some stat drops, the accuracy drops to 50%. So that's definitely pretty nice. If you're going to try to be paralyzed or put asleep, the accuracy just dropped 50%, which is definitely nice when you're trying to sweep setting up some quiver dances, so that is pretty nice offensively. It also has an ability called Shield Dust. Now this ability says that if there's a move with a secondary effect hitting Venomoth, Venomoth will not be inflicted by the secondary effect. That means you cannot be paralyzed by Discharge or Thunderbolt, or burned by a Flamethrower or Fire Blast, or in cases that don't even include status, such as being flinched or put to sleep, etc, etc. Now both of these are seemingly good abilities, but its definitely most well-known ability is the ability Tinted Lens. Now Tinted Lens is probably most well known to be used by Yanmega, and this ability means that if you use a move that is not very effective on a Pokemon, its damage will be doubled. So that means, let's say you use a Bug Buzz on a Steel type, so it's half resisted, it's actually going to do neutral damage because of Tinted Lens. This must be what puts Venomoth at a rather debatably higher tier than some of its other Quiver Dance counterparts, such as even the dreaded Volcarona. While Volcarona only gets Flame Body, Venomoth gets these very nice abilities, especially Tinted Lens, which can make it a rather offensive threat with enough setting up. Now there is the offensive Venomoth, and then there's more of a support Venomoth, which brings me to my third point, which is why I think Venomoth is even close to breaching this OU tier that it apparently is in currently. And that would be its opportunity to use the moveset of Quiver Dance and Baton Pass. Now what this allows is for Venomoth to set up a Quiver Dance, and then keep setting up as long as it feels safe, and then when it starts to get low on health, it can Baton Pass into a Pokemon that can still abuse these Quiver Dance boosts and just potentially sweep the rest of the team. I also have to mention that Venomoth does have access to Sleep Powder and does frequently use it, as it does give extra turns to Quiver Dance, Sweep, or just Baton Pass to another Pokemon who will hopefully sweep. Now there are a couple variations of Venomoth. I've seen Sash Venomoth, Black Sludge Venomoth, and Life Orb Venomoth. Now this is just talking about a Black Sludge Venomoth here. If you set up one Quiver Dance, and you attack a Nidoking, you're going to come across the idea that your dual stab is not going to be too effective, which is why Nidoking would come in the first place. Sludge Bomb is quad resisted, and Bug Buzz is half resisted. So, you're going to use Bug Buzz in the case that you carry Tinted Lens, which is most likely, and this is the damage calculation that I have set up here against an offensive Nidoking. Now, it's a guaranteed 2 KO, it's not going to kill. If it has Life Orb, it's more than likely going to kill. And in the scenario, say that Venomoth is trying to sweep the rest of a team and Nidoking comes in on a free switch, Nidoking's going to be able to go for a Fire Blast or some move that's going to hit the Venomoth the hardest. In the case that it doesn't have anything to hit super effectively, Venomoth just gained a special defense boost because of the Quiver Dance. So there is a chance that it may live by something, say an Earth Power, that's not fully invested. Now this brings us toward our conclusion here. Venomoth seems to have decent stats, and it was slightly above RU last gen, just at the end of it too. No one really used it that much, so how is it all of a sudden OU? It doesn't seem to make too much sense. Well, really I think the best reason is because people didn't realize how much potential Venomoth really had in 5th gen. And now with 6th gen, with even stronger pokes to use Quiver Dances with the combination of Baton Passing to it, now it just makes him even more of a threat. And that must be the reason Venomoth has been climbing through the tiers here, as it has become a more and more threatening supporting Pokemon for the rest of the team. Now, what does this mean for the rest of the future of Venomoth here in regards to tiering? Well, I really don't think it's going to have enough usage in OU. If I've ever seen it, I do not remember very clearly, nor do I remember Venomoth sweeping me, nor do I remember Venomoth successfully Baton Passing to anything. So I think it should rightfully stand in UU, just like it did in last gen. Nothing changed for it specifically, it's only going to support the Pokemon in that tier, and that's why I think it should go into UU. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to leave more suggestions for next week. The more creative, the better, I tell ya. So yeah, guys, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, sub, and until later. Peace.